how did it go from there to becoming this phenomenon in publishing?
I gave it to my friends. I gave the extra copies to my friends.
They intervened.
Those friends. And by this time in my life, I have a dozen guys that I trust, right?
Which was a threshold for you too, because you were not going to trust men given your upbringing.
Men had done most of the damage in my life, and they're the ones that I was competing with to find a way to gain a sense of, validation and constantly disappointed because I wanted them to be my dad.
Right.
All of that kind of crazy stuff. So, my kids, I give them a book for Christmas because it's all I had, right, that year. And they go, "Oh, a book. Thanks, Dad."
Thanks, Dad. The one you wrote. Swell.
Yeah, how do you turn it on? And it took them a while to read it. And but my friends, they were all over it. And I start, I'm working my jobs and I get a call from a friend. He's going like, "Paul, can we get some more of these things? Because is it okay if I give them to my friends?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can give them whoever you want." So we pooled a little collection. Me and my friends pooled a little collection. We made 15 more copies so that they could give it to their friends. Well, I start getting these emails, and they're not like, "Hey, I read your book. It was given to me by Joe Khalil or Scott Klausner, and I really love this book." It wasn't like that. It was like, "I want you to know how your little book has landed in the middle of my great sadness." And they would begin to unfold parts of their life. And I felt like I'm being invited to walk on holy ground here.
These are strangers to you.
Yeah. What's going on here? Well, I did this one thing during this period of time where an actual author had come and he needed a driver. And so I drove them all for about 6.5 hours, drove them, to Centralia. I drove them down the gorge. I drove them down Salem area, all over the place because he needed a driver. And like, he's a for real author. Like he's actually written
books. He had a book published. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we had kind of kept in contact after that day by email and stuff like that. And so I'm getting these emails and I'm going like, I wonder if he knows I wonder what he does. So I sent him an email going like, I wrote this little thing and I'm getting, look, and I give him snippets of the email. This is what I'm getting. What do you do? And he goes, what did you write? In an email. Mm-hmm. And I said, so I sent him an electronic copy of it and go like, you don't have to read it, but this will give you a sense of what it is. And he immediately goes into author mode he writes me an email. Paul, I get asked to read people's books all the time. Trust me. I've got probably 15 right there.
Yeah.
And he says, it might take me like 6 months. I'm going like, I don't care. I'm trying to figure out what to do with these emails. Do you write them back? What do you do? I'm like, I have no idea. And so he says, I'll help you with that, but I can't right now. So that was on a Friday night. Monday night, I'm down in the basement in this little tiny house, and it's got, we created a make-believe bedroom down there for two of the boys. And it's got clothes hanging on, wires and stuff like this for laundry. And I get a call. He calls me on the phone, this author guy. And he goes, what were you thinking sending me that manuscript? At least that's how I hear him.
Yeah.
In fact, I hear him say, what the hell do you think you were, why,
Yeah.
And I'm literally backing up in the basement, like physically, I'm taking steps back. And I said, just throw it out. That's my response. Like, just forget it.
If it's a bother, no sweat, just get rid of it.
Yeah, just throw it out. He goes, oh, no, you don't understand. He said, I can't print the pages fast enough. I went, what? He goes, Paul, I don't think that I've read anything like this in years, where my first response is, man, I've got 10 or 12 people I need to send this to like right now. Mm. I said, you send it to whoever you want. I don't care. He goes, well, I already did. Well, that started a conversation with him and two of his friends initially about turning this book into a movie. That's where the whole movie thing started, was there. And then it was like, well, we met together, and then it was like, well, maybe we should actually get it published, because if you can sell 100,000 copies of a novel, Hollywood will come talk to you about a movie.
Of course.
Didn't know that, that's less than 0.5% of all novels makes it to 50,000. And if you can write a novel and sell 7,500 copies, you can put
if you could sell 5,000 books of any kind, you cross a threshold.
It's a bestseller.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't know any of that, And so it's like, I'm just totally naive in this whole journey. Well, that starts this whole craziness where, I'm working my 3 jobs, working on the edits and stuff like that over the course of about a year and a half. They get a cover design thing going, and we send it to 26 publishers, half of them faith-based Christian publishers, half of them totally secular-based. All of them turn it down, right? And they had 2 issues. One in kind. Both the religious publishers and the secular publishers couldn't figure out what genre it was. So their question was, we don't know where to put this in a bookstore. Is this self-help? Is it theology? Is it fiction? What is this? Yeah. And the issue separating them was the religious people thought, the secular people thought it had too much Jesus, and the religious people thought it was too edgy, right? And so we got stuck.
Jesus and edgy go together pretty good.
And so, you know what? We got stuck between edgy and Jesus, and we found out there's millions of people stuck between edgy and Jesus and had no idea. So the guys in California, they wanted to form a little publishing house anyway for their own stuff, so they did. And that became my first imprint. And we pooled our money together. One of the guys in my group of friends loaned me enough money for my part of the first print run. And so 3 of us put in money for we ordered 10,000 copies. We were told that's 8,000 in your garage after you've run out of friends and family.
Yes, I wrote a book. Tell me about that. Yeah.
Oh, and it was like, okay, so our goal was to get through 10,000 copies in 2 years, work our way to 100,000 in 5 years. Hollywood would come talk to the guys about a movie. That was it. Yeah. I was back working my 3 jobs, And in 3.5 months into this, I get a call from California because one of the guys volunteered to ship the books out of his house at night because he was putting in people's sprinkler systems into their yards during the day. And so 3.5 months into it, I get a call. We need to order more books. I'm like, I know we gave a bunch away. Did we give them all away? What? He said, no, people, the only place you could buy the book was off the website, but the only place you could find the website was at the back of the book. We had no marketing, no promotion, nothing, right?
So it's really organic.
Said, oh my gosh, people are coming to the website, they buy 1, then they come back and they buy 5, and then they come back and they buy cases. I'm going, really? So, we ordered 20,000, and we went through 20,000 in 60 days. And then we went through 22,000 because of overage, this thing where they're allowed to accidentally give you an extra 10%.
But the book took off. I mean, it just it exponentially
in the first 13 months.
The public's attention.
Before the guys in California entered a joint venture with Hachette that took the book internationally. In those first 13 months, we spent less than $300 in marketing and advertising and shipped almost 1.1 million copies of The Shack.
The volume is phenomenal. All right. So,
unbelievable.
For all of those millions of copies and for the film, and there's a copy of the book cover right there that has become itself almost iconic, and then a film was produced. I mean, you get headliners like Octavia Spencer to be in the film. That's no small gig. And
she's great.
So powerfully has it landed in so many people's minds. But I know there's some people that may not know the story. Don't give the story away. Just give us just a tiny piece of what is the shack. You've already actually introduced the metaphor of the shack of your heart, your inner self.
Yeah.
But this is a fictional drama. It's about some characters and how they cope.
Yeah. So Mackenzie Allen Phillips is the main character. The daughter who gets abducted and murdered, Missy, is Melissa Ann Phillips. Both their names spell map on purpose.